Today I'm reviewing the FiiO FT1 Pro planar magnetic headphones. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So the FiiO FT1 Pro here, it's like the, I don't want to say upgraded version of the FT1 original. It's like an alternative FT1. It's the FT1 Pro, and this one's coming in at a price of $199 US. Now inside of here, we've got a single, a 95 by 86 millimeter planar magnetic driver. Instead of like on the FT1 original, you might remember you might know if you're familiar, wooden ear cups. This one obviously has these aluminium and it's open backed, whereas the original was closed back. Now, apart from those things, the build is pretty much the same, apart from the different material ear cups, but we've got the same headband, same adjustment sliders there, same ear pads even, which are hybrid, part vegan leather and part breathable fabric. We got a three-way rotation access for the ear cups, so they do conform naturally to the shape of your head, and in conjunction with these lovely plush ear pads and the padded underside of the headband, these are super comfortable. I can wear these pretty much all day long, even with glasses on. It's no problem. In terms of connectivity, they've got standard 3.5mm TRS sockets or connectors, and here's one of the cables. Just like the FT1 original, you get two cables which are identical except for the termination. This is the 4.4mm balance one, and there's also a 3.5mm one, but that's the cable. Fabric coated or fabric sheath. It's nice, it's fine. 1.5 meters long, no microphonics, handles well. It's a little bit stiff, but that's actually a good thing I find on the desktop. And overall, it's a great cable, and it's pretty amazing that you get two of them. Although, once again, I will say that I don't know why they just didn't send or add one cable, a modular cable, where you could change the terminations. Right, let's bring them back in. They don't fold 90 degrees, so I'm just going to have to sit them there like that and hope that they are still in focus. Now, these have a pretty low impedance of just 20 ohms and a sensitivity of, 96 decibels. So they're not that hard to drive. They're fairly efficient. Having said that, I wouldn't recommend plugging these straight into a smartphone. I would suggest at least, some kind of dongle DAC. The FiiO KA13 or KA17, for example, are absolutely perfect for these. But let's talk now about the sound. We'll cover the sound of these first, and I'll tell you later how these compare audio-wise to the FT1 original. So tonally, the FT1 Pro, it's just slightly on the warmer side of neutral, mostly uncolored, except for a little lift in the bass, which adds a hint of extra richness, which gives it a more natural and engaging expression. It's got a balanced sound signature with a subtle lift in the presence region, and that highlights the vocal presentation, but really these are fairly close to, they're almost reference level. Let's talk about the bass now, and the bass delivers. It's got a nice satisfying punch and impact, and despite that nearly neutral tuning, the FT1 Pro maintains a pretty authoritative presence in the low frequencies. They got enough body to serve as a nice solid foundation for the music, but at the same time, they're not so forward. They leave ample room or ample space for the mid-range to breathe. The sub-bass extension is solid. It provides a deep, low-end presence. However, it lacks the physicality and the visceral rumble of sort of a more powerful sub-bass in favor of maintaining better control and minimizing distortion. So it does have pretty good sub-bass, but it's not one that's going to really shake you up. And the mid-bass has a tight, focused impact with a quick responsive attack, and that adds energy and drive to the sound. It's got a crisp, defined presence that brings a good sense of rhythm and weight, although it's not the most textured. Diving into the mid-range is kind of where the magic happens with these. We got vocal clarity and instrument detail, which takes center stage. The mid-range is near reference neutrality-wise, where coloration is kept to a minimum, and that allows music to present itself in an almost unadulterated form. Vocals have great clarity. There is a bit of a boost to female vocals though, which gives them a slight edge in presence and intimacy compared to male vocals, which are a little bit on the leaner side. So instrumental nuances are captured with detail, and probably largely thanks to the planar magnetic drivers and their ability to respond swiftly to transients. So they've got beautiful, clean, crisp transients. There is a slight dip around the 1.5 to 2 kilohertz range, but it's fairly subtle. It doesn't detract from the overall coherence of the mid-range, but what it does instead is adds a touch of musicality. The sound remains engaging without detracting from the technical performance. It's a tuning that sort of prioritizes safety over surgical precision. The treble extension is pretty good. It's impressive though. It reaches into the high frequencies with ease, but it does so without the need to dazzle or sparkle excessively. So pretty safe tuning. The treble notes are crisp. They deliver good clarity, but without the risk of fatigue. So you won't find the treble here. It's not the airiest. It leans toward a sort of earthier presentation, which in a way grounds the overall presentation. And this approach to the treble, it doesn't aim for the stars, but rather for, our cohesive integration with the mid-range and the bass. The treble timbre is excellent. It provides a nice natural decay to cymbals and hi-hats. It feels right at home with the mid-range and bass, but for the most part, the treble kind of plays a back seat in the overall presentation. It's there and it does its job beautifully, but it's not something that jumps out at you. And finally, for the soundstage and technicalities, it's not a huge, expansive soundstage that you get with these, but it's got pretty impressive width in the stage. But what impressed me most about the FT1 Pro's staging was the exceptional note density. It's in no way wishy-washy or diffuse. It's got a very stable center image, and each instrument and sound has got good density and feels solid. It doesn't feel all spread out and sort of diluted in any way, if that makes sense. And what that does, it sort of enhances the instrument separation, and you don't just hear that, but you feel that. It crafts a more 3D holographic stage that's both detailed and immersive. Positional cues are great, so that makes not just music, but also games and videos more engaging. And really, the technical performance of the FT1 Pro, I think, it's above, definitely better than a lot of other competition in its price range. However, there is one area where I wasn't that impressed, and that is with micro detail retrieval. This happens with lots and lots of headphones for some reason, and this is no exception. So despite having excellent instrument separation, a nice black background, good staging, the micro detail retrieval is pretty mediocre, or in other words, pretty ordinary. Let's do a couple of quick comparisons now, starting with the FT1 as promised. And the FT1 original, it has a more fun, more V-shaped tuning. It's got a thrilling bass, can really shake you up, especially that sub bass. Like I don't know how many of you may have possibly played Skyrim, the game. But when you start up the game and you just hear that doom doom, when you're wearing the FT1 original, man, that's just like strap in and get ready. This is going to be epic. It's still pretty good on these ones, but it's nowhere near as engaging or epic as the FT1. The FT1 is slightly more colored, making it more musical, but less tonally accurate than the FT1 Pro. So, but in other words, the FT1's bass, that's where the party's at. In contrast, the FT1 Pro is more serious, more linear. Its bass is very tight, it's controlled, it's more transparent and neutral, and it's more faithful. It provides a more faithful reproduction of the music without the coloration of the original FT1. So basically, if you're in the mood for a fun, really engaging listen where the bass sort of takes you on a real adventure, the FT1 is your go-to. However, if your priority is precision, control, and uncolored representation of the music, then the FT1 Pro is going to be the better choice. Now, next up, I'm going to bring in, the Moondrop Para, which is just look at it. I mean, it's gorgeous. Wow, it's such a pretty looking headphone. Admittedly, this is like $100 more. It's a third of the price more than the FT1 Pro. It's heavier. It's sort of got an all metal build. It's just beautiful. I think they've nailed the design so well. But when it comes to sound, the Para's Soundstage is more expansive. It's larger, but it's got more of a focus on detail and clarity. The tuning is a little bit leaner. It's a little bit more analytical and less musical. The FT1 Pro, on the other hand, has a more neutral sound. It doesn't match the Para's Soundstage width, but I think the FiiO has better tonal accuracy, and it has a more natural, more accurate listening, sort of balanced sound signature. So if you're looking for sort of a really premium build and an expansive soundstage, then the Para is the way to go. But if you're looking to save a few bucks for one, but if you're looking for something that's even more linear and tonally accurate, then the FT1 Pro is the way to go. And that brings us now to my conclusion, which is, look, FiiO is just knocking it out the park with just about everything they do. So the FT1 Pro is joining the ranks as another super great value headphone. Look, $199. It is almost reference level neutral, but it's just got a little bit of touch of warmth added there. Great tonal accuracy, good timbre, really good, just enjoyable for all things. However, there are times when I do miss just that wild party nature of the original FT1. The FT1 is an epic headphone, and quite considerably cheaper than the FT1 Pro. However, it depends, your personal preferences in tuning are going to determine which one will be better for you, but these are definitely highly recommended, and you're just awesome. Let's wrap it up with that. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Par Family Audiophile style. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I'll see you later.